Hi everyone. I want to share a very important message with you all today, and that has to do with releasing conditioning on the twin flame journey. I think in bits and pieces I have spoken of it before, but today I felt that this was necessary, and to also share my own experience with it. So, conditioning is something that we start imbibing from the moment we are born. We are born like a tabula rasa, at least the mind is completely, blank, and whatever, experiences we have, which of course come from, our tendencies of the past life and all of that, things which are already present, they definitely do attract our experiences. But it's not to say that consciously parents can't create better experiences, they can. But anyway, we go through life and we have various experiences. We have a natural rhythm to us, we have a natural expression of who we are. The natural blueprint, wants to express through us. But because of the experiences that we go through, we hide this. So, how will we hide it? Somebody will probably scold, you in the school maybe, and say, don't do this, don't sit like this. For instance, if you're a woman, then you'll know, in many cultures you'll be asked to sit in a certain way. You'd be asked to not even sit with your legs apart, right? So shame comes in, about your body, about who you are. And similarly, there will be judgment, that other people will have a lot of judgment for some children, and you will start to understand good and bad through that kind of a judgment. Like, I remember in my school, if a certain child was chastised or was scolded for maybe not having her skirt, to an appropriate length, then I would also form a judgment about that person, and I would then try to always have my skirt according to the length prescribed, right? And anything shorter than that is bad. So this is conditioning. This is a still a very overt example of conditioning. Conditioning is very sneaky because conditioning will impact you subconsciously as well. There will be certain behaviors that are reinforced and certain behaviors that are punished. That leads to conditioning. Okay. So maybe being, coming first in school, or participating in certain competitions, all of that is reinforcing conditioning. So the school that I went to, for instance, there was a lot of stress on academics, right? And because of that kind of a stress on academics, the conditioning ended up being that only those who do well in the subjects, only those who do well in exams, those who do well in studies are worthy, and the ones who don't do well in studies maybe they do well in singing, maybe they do well in art and craft, maybe they do well in sports, but they are not as worthy, or they are not supposed to be as they are not rewarded as much, right? Their talent is not reinforced by the school. So this led to a conditioning in me that only studies is important. So I did not want to pursue anything extra on the side, right? So it led to a lot of creative repression, that where the creative flow could have found its expression, those channels were blocked, and only intellectual channels, were the channels that I focused more on. Okay. Now, of course, these days schooling is different, and schooling is more holistic, and people want to, have a lot of learning by doing kind of mechanisms, and they really really value extracurriculars. And but this is just speaking of, my experience. So this also leads to a form of conditioning. Then at home, of course, with your cultures, religion, the way the people that your parents interact with, your parents' own, shame, and the way they think and feel about certain things will also impact you. So they may think something is bad, or they may think something is good, and you will also start developing that kind of a perspective. Unconsciously, it will always remain. Either you will grow to accept it and you will also have the same kind of a value system, or you will grow to reject it completely. So, one example can be that maybe your parents were people who valued money a lot. Okay. You could be somebody who could also grow to value money a lot. That is also conditioning. or you could grow to reject that kind of a valuation of money, and you may say, I don't need money. And that is also conditioning. Conditioning is not necessarily just you saying yes to what your family said yes to, but it is also saying no to what your family said yes to, because that is a stance that you have taken in opposition to the stance of your family. It is coming from the place of opposition. Okay, what is going to be unconditioning here? It is going to be to find your own value system. Okay, what feels right to you, how you feel about money, whether you're neutral about it, you love it, or you're like, meh, I don't know, I don't care for it at all, right? But having arrived at with yourself, by yourself, and knowing fully that there is no fear there which is driving your love or aversion to money, knowing fully that there is no agenda there behind this, no belief system behind this, but just based on the feeling. Okay, will give you a very neutral experience about money. An open experience towards abundance and money means that you have now released the conditioning. So this needs some work, of course. So similarly, money is one example. One example can definitely be sex as well. If you were born in a culture, you would see a lot, where there is lot of strictness about premarital sex or about premarital relationships. Then what do children end up doing? Either children end up really, towing the line and just being like very people pleasing and very parent pleasing, and not having sexual experiences for a long time in their life, and believing that and subscribing to the same beliefs. Or you will see children will rebel, and children will do the opposite completely to upset their parents, or to just prove a point, or to really just have that forbidden fruit is the sweetest kind of an experience. So that is also acting out of conditioning. Now this example will make it clear to you as to how conditioning is both ways. It's not just being impacted positively, but it's also doing the opposite thing. So basically, when you are accepting or you're rejecting, both are conditioning, and you have to drop both. It has to be your independent stance, because you have your own independent soul blueprint. So I will share an experience that was profound for me. That when I was a child, I used to love dancing. So I would just dance. I did not take any training or anything in any dance form. But I just used to love dancing in general as an expression of who I was. And I used to learn the actions when I was, 8 or 7 years old, like watching TV, learning how people are dancing on TV, and then doing the same steps, right? I think every child sort of does this. So once when I was 9 years old, I was at a party with my parents. It was somebody's birthday, some other child's birthday or something. And this song started to play. Okay, it was a popular song of the day. And I started dancing to it. So I had learned certain actions for this song, which was about, a person singing about heartbreak and crying about heartbreak or something. As a 9-year-old, of course, I did not understand that there is a deeper meaning to this or whatever. So I learned these actions, maybe from the TV, or perhaps, from a performance that I had seen. And these were actions of a heartbreak and all of that, and I just danced like that. Okay, and I just vividly remember that I was the only one dancing to this as a 9-year-old girl in a children's party. And like how that happens when children are dancing, sometimes people sit and there's only one child dancing. So this was me. Okay, and later, after this, my mother just stopped me, and she told me, don't dance like this is not a good action to act like you're heartbroken or something. This is not a good action. I felt so self-conscious, and I just suddenly, it dawned on me that everybody was staring at me. One another lady whose child's birthday it was, even she was staring at me and judging me. I just felt so judged, and I felt so ashamed that it's not that I stopped dancing after that, but my dancing became very much very proprietous in some sense. There was no freedom to my dancing. So much so that even when I would dance alone, when I'm just like in my room and I'm dancing, or I'm alone in the house and I'm just playing loud music and dancing over the years, there was always a sense of not letting go. All right. There was always this sense of I have to dance in a proprietous way, even if I'm alone. I can't just let go and just let the rhythm take over me and let my, do whatever the hell I wanted to do in that moment. That just was something that I did not do. So when I healed this within me, this was an experience that I remembered very clearly. So when I went deep inside this experience and I connected with my inner self, and my inner self told me she wants to dance freely, right? And I was able to heal that experience, of shame, of judgment that I felt at that time. And it was painful and uncomfortable for me even now to, even at the time when I was healing this, it was painful and difficult to even heal it then, right? But I persisted and I felt that shame and I let that, just happen, let that just flow inside me, and I was able to release it and give myself permission to dance freely, to express myself freely. So this happened, and then a few maybe weeks later or something, one fine day, I felt like dancing and I just played some music, and I thought, okay, I will dance, right? And I'd already done this healing a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks prior, or 10 days prior, I don't really remember now. And this was very strange because when I started to dance at that time, after this healing, there was a new dance that came out of me that had not come out in all of these years. And that new dance was full of energy, was full of just a complete expression of who I was. My steps were not, steps that I was measuring. And there was a lot of just, I don't know, there was just dance. There was just, like no steps, nothing that I'm trying to follow, right? And that was beautiful, and that was really, really wonderful to the dance. And I felt free, and I felt like I had not danced like that. I did not remember ever having danced like that all my life of dancing. So, this is what healing can do for you. You release one conditioning, one block that I identified, that I could recognize, and it changed the way I could dance. So, you see how profound this is? This is still an experience that we are able to think of, and come to the visibly sense. But imagine the other kinds of conditioning that you're going to start releasing on all levels, especially such basic levels like money, sex, your self love, how you feel about your body, how you feel about yourself, your idea of success, your fear of failure, your judgment of yourself, your judgment of others, right? So, all of these things, if you can start working on it one by one and understanding where the block is, you will come to your original blueprint. Okay, so this is all I wanted to share with you all today, that it is important that you release this conditioning. You see the comfort level that you feel with a certain idea, a certain belief system. Do not let anything just go by. Don't think that anything, this is sorted out for me. Do that inner connection to really assess if it really is sorted out for you or not. Don't assume that it is sorted out, because, like, I would not have assumed that my dancing needs sorting out. I literally would never have assumed it. But somehow that experience was brought into my notice, and I was able to go into that, and I did not know that it would free up my dancing, something I didn't even know needed to be freed up. Okay, so this is one instance. Like I said, there will be many, many instances. These points that I mentioned, make a list of these points and explore your relationship with all of these things that I mentioned. Just go within and start seeing your comfort and discomfort around all of this. Don't take anything for granted. Go within and heal the block which is hidden. It is important to do that. All right, so, guys, that's all. And if you feel guided to book a one-on-one session, my email address is imacompletelife@gmail.com. You just have to write to me, and I will give you more details about how it works. And in this session, we also explore going within, and we learn how to connect with our inner self. Currently, I'm also very happy to announce that on the 24th of September this month at 7:30 p.m. IST, we are organizing a wonderful workshop to facilitate inner energetic union of both masculine and feminine polarities within the divine feminine. So, if you are a divine feminine on this journey, and you wish to experience that inner union, that definitely, can lead to a lot of breakthroughs in the physical as well, I'm sure, in your journey. And along with this workshop, when you do sign up for it, I am also going to offer within the same package a guided meditation track that I am creating to help you go deeper and deeper into your feminine and masculine energies both, to understand this more at an energetic level. Sometimes, we speak of this energy and we don't know what this energy is. But how about experiencing it in its divine form? So this is a very powerful experience that I had, that I am going to create in the form of a guided meditation track that you can will be downloadable for you, so you can keep it for your future use. And I would advise you to come back to that track every week at least, or every 2 weeks or something, so to feel the flow of your masculine and feminine energies. And it can do magic for you, because it can lead to that uh, that in your feminine you feel your masculine, and in your masculine you feel your feminine, which is truly what union is about. All right. So this is just something that I thought would be an interesting offering along with the workshop, because it's going to be uh, aligned with the theme of the workshop of inner marriage and inner union. All right. So if you feel guided to do this, it's a very affordable workshop and a very affordable sign up for you all. It costs only rupees 3500 if you are paying in Indian rupees through UPI. And if you are paying internationally, then if you're going to be paying through the platform Wise, which is a platform that I prefer, it's like a sister platform to PayPal, then the fee is 44 euros. If it's in pounds, it's 38 GBP. If you're paying in US dollars, it is 48 US dollars. If you're paying in other currencies, you can just write to me and I can figure out what the Wise, conversion system comes out with, and I can share that number with you all. If you're insistent on only using PayPal, then the amount is going to be slightly higher, because PayPal has a higher, fees and a very low conversion rate. So yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to see you all on this workshop on the 24th of September at 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So if you're going to be in the UK or Europe, it's going to be your afternoon. If you're going to be in the United States, it's going to be your morning, or Canada also, it's going to be your morning. And so it's a Sunday as well. So many of you will be able to sign up for sure. So let me know for that as well. You have to write to me. In my email address is imacompletelife@gmail.com. So I'll see you soon, guys. Take care. Sending you lots of love.